everybody? Welcome back. Jim here. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're having as good of a day as I am. Today, wanted to make a quick video because I just recently picked up a game that I had not played in a very long time. Got a re-release on the Switch recently, and that is Red Dead Redemption. And I know this game has been out in North America at least for a while now, like a couple of months, I think, 2 or 3 months. But I waited for it to get its Japanese release, which was just a couple of days ago. One of the reasons is I know when this game was announced for North America, a lot of people were not happy with the price because it was being released at like full retail, like 50 or 60 bucks or something like that. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but people thought it was too expensive. The Japanese version, though, I got it brand new off of Amazon, and it came in at just under $36. So much cheaper than its North American counterpart. And even though it's a Japanese version, obviously you can still play through the whole thing in English if you really want to. No difference at all. The only difference was it was a lot cheaper. So I just waited for the Japanese version to come out before making a purchase. But I did want to quickly talk about this game, give like a first thoughts on it. Because after I started playing it, immediately like I was, okay, I want to do like a full review on this game at some point. I want to play completely through the story mode and then completely through Undead Nightmare and then give kind of like my final thoughts on the game. But for right now, I thought it would be, you know, nice to just sit down on the couch and have a quick initial thoughts on it because I hadn't played this game since its initial release on the Xbox 360. So that was a good 13 years ago. So going back to this game 13 years later, was quite the experience. I've played a lot of open world games since then, and it's nice that this one still holds up. And I think for me, like a comparison is between this and the second game, Red Dead Redemption 2. This one I find like so much more like immediately gratifying because there's not as much stuff to do in it. It's not as big of a game, but there's more of an emphasis on action. You can just get right to it. Get in there and start killing outlaws and having gunfights and quick draws and all that kind of stuff. So I like that a lot more than sort of like the cowboy simulator kind of thing that Red Dead 2 went for. If I could get like a game like the size of Red Dead 2 and like little side things that you can do but still have that like emphasis on action, I like that. And quick travel. This game has quick travel, which is awesome. If I recall correctly, there wasn't any quick travel in Red Dead 2, which, considering the size of that game, that can be like kind of a nightmare. This game, it's much easier to just, if you want to get to like the main story missions and stuff, it's pretty easy to do so because you can quick travel to this area or that area, and then get your missions on and go out and rustle some cattle or go kill some bandits and bad guys and stuff, go get your machine guns and all that, and enjoy the story as well because it's not like the deepest story in the world, but it's a Rockstar game, so it's funny at least, and the voice work and everything is done really well. So that's I really like about this game. I prefer over Red Dead 2, just the quickness of the gameplay. And there's still stuff you can do on the side. You can go play poker, you can help random strangers, you can play a game of horseshoes, get challenged to duels and things like that. So there's lots of stuff to do on the side, collecting things and what have you. But generally speaking, it's just a lot easier in this game to get to the action, which is what I like. My favorite thing to do in this game is just, it's an Old West game. You want to run around with your cool revolvers and repeater rifles and stuff and shoot bad guys in the face, which is what I mean, you can shoot them anywhere, but I inevitably always go for the face. There's just something satisfying about that. You can always shoot the gun out of their hand. If you really want to, if you're having a duel or something, you can shoot a gun out of their hand, and that's fine. I guess it makes you more honorable. But you don't lose honor if you shoot them in like the face or the crotch 6 times. So that's what I usually do. Wanted dead or alive to me means wanted dead. I very rarely take anyone alive. But it's still a really fun game. Graphically, there is, as far as I know, no real difference. It's just a straight port of maybe like the 360 or the PS3 version, whatever they used as like the source for this one. But that being said, still a really beautiful game for a 13-year-old game. It looks like really good. Just especially like at certain times of the day, sunset and sunrise. There's this great mix of colors, and the scenery looks very nice. The desert, I've been to several deserts in my life, and yeah, it's hot and dry, and it's boring, and it sucks. But it can be serene and beautiful, and this game captures that pretty well. So as far as I know, no graphical upgrades were made, but I've heard it said that they turned up like either the brightness or the color saturation, something to that effect, which I can't say for sure because, like I said, it's been 13 years since I played the original version, but I can believe it because at times this is a fairly like bright, especially on a nice sunny day in the game. Everything is very bright, and there's a fair bit of detail to it. But other than that, I can't say that any graphical enhancements have been made, but you know, still a beautiful game. Sound design is still really great. The gameplay is still incredibly fun. I did encounter a couple of glitches in the game while I was recording footage for this video. I probably played for a good 6 hours, the regular game, and in that entire 6 hours, there were 2 glitches that were irritating. Somebody like almost like teleported away with my horse, and then at a different time my horse got stuck in kind of like a running animation and I couldn't get off of it. So both of those were like annoying, but in 6 hours there were a couple of glitches, and I can say that back in the day I did not play Undead Nightmare, so this was my first time to actually get to play Undead Nightmare. So last night I sat down and played it probably for about 3 or 4 hours. Really, really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, my favorite part of Red Dead Redemption is just like having gunfights and going bounty hunting and killing bad guys and stuff. It's very satisfying in this game to shoot people with the Deadeye mode and everything like that. It slows down and you just blast people in the face, and it's very, very satisfying, very exhilarating. And in Undead Nightmare, that's basically all you do. The entire game, you're just running around and shooting zombies in the face. And it's incredibly fun, and I like the change of the music, kind of the change of even like the visuals, where it has just more of like a, I don't know how to call it, like the coloring. Everything is I mean, they use like kind of a greenish yellow for like all the menus and things like that, but just in the world itself, it has kind of a discolored, diseased look, which I like a lot. It's fun just riding around from town to town and helping them kill zombies, finding weapon stashes and things like that, looting all the corpses. And some of that was even funny, like a line that actually made me laugh. I was looting a zombie, and John said something to the effect, "I think I looted you when you were still alive." So that's funny, because in Red Dead Redemption, just the regular game, a lot of what I do is after I kill people, like a whole bunch of people, I'll take however long it takes to loot every single body. Nobody goes unlooted when I play Red Dead Redemption, but Undead Nightmare, so awesome, just a great game on its own. I almost want to do like 2 separate reviews, like one for Red Dead Redemption and one for Undead Nightmare. Because I'm just having so much fun with it. I've heard people say that they get bored of Red Dead or Undead Nightmare because it is just running around and shooting zombies pretty much. But that's enough for me. I never ever get tired of running around shooting zombies in the head with, you know, revolvers and shotguns. The shotgun blows their head up, so that's awesome. Or when you get one of those close range kills where you get a little animation where he blows their head off. That's excellent, so I don't get tired of that. So I think Undead Nightmare, I'm gonna just play that all the way through, and then I'll probably start over and play again. And I got to go kill Zombie Sasquatch, which I can't think of another game where I've gotten to kill Zombie Sasquatch. So thank you, Undead Nightmare. But yeah, so my first thoughts on this. First of all, if you held off on buying the North American version because it was too expensive, maybe take a look if you can find the Japanese version somewhere. Again, it's much cheaper. Again, I bought it brand new off of Amazon for under 36 bucks. It was probably more like closer to like 35, 50, something like that. So not a terribly expensive game for everything that's included in it. Again, it's not an upgrade. It's not like a remaster or anything. It's more or less like what they did when they released LA Noire, or how they do with some of the other games that get ported. There's been like some of the Assassin's Creed collections, Bioshock, things like that. They get ported over to the Switch. because while the Switch is not the most powerful console these days, it's more powerful than the PS3 and 360 ever were, so you can port all kinds of cool stuff to it. I personally wish they would port some of the Hitman games, because those were some of my favorites. I'd love to see a Hitman collection on the Switch, but hey, what do I know? But yeah, so it's not a remaster, it is a port, but it does come with all of the additional things that would have been included in the Game of the Year edition, and again, Undead Nightmare, which is a lot of fun. It's a whole another game in its own right. So for 36 bucks, I feel like I got my money's worth with this, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish the main game, Red Dead Redemption. I'm gonna finish Undead Nightmare, and then probably at some point in the future try to do like a bit more of a detailed review on both games. But just like my initial thoughts, it was ported really well. Still a great looking game despite its age, and still a lot of fun. And if you're like me, you'll probably actually find it to be more fun, more enjoyable than Red Dead Redemption 2. If you really like to just get straight to the action, cowboys, you know, shooting each other and with pistols and shotguns and everything like that, going on missions and fast travel, very important, the fast travel. You'd probably prefer Red Dead Redemption. If you've never played it, this is like the perfect time, especially if you want to play it in handheld mode. I don't have any footage of that, but when you play it in handheld mode, it actually looks really, really good because the screen is smaller, obviously, and so you can't really notice like all the popping and stuff. When I play on my TV is like a 50-inch TV or something, so it's obvious, you know, stuff off in the distance as it's popping in and rendering. It's pretty noticeable, not so much when you have it on a small screen. So if you want to play your Red Dead on the go, this is pretty much your only option as far as I know. Unless, do they have it on Steam? Can you just play it on a Steam Deck or something? Anyway, those are my initial thoughts on Red Dead Redemption on the Switch. It's still awesome, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So let me know down in the comments, have you played the Switch port, and what did you think of it? And do you think it's better than the old versions? Again, I didn't notice any kind of like graphical upgrades, but you know, again, I haven't played the original version in like 13 years. I'm kind of ignorant on stuff like that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you've played the Switch port, what did you think of it? Did you have as much fun with it as I'm having with it now? And do you like Red Dead Redemption as a whole? And do you prefer the first game over the second game, as I do? Second game, much bigger game, but to me, it just doesn't have that like instant gratification that the original game has. But that's just me, just one man's opinion. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I think it's time to kill it there. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye.